Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, presents Viking Pregame, a look at today's Colfax Vikings game. And now, Viking Pregame.
Good evening, and welcome to Viking Pregame. Rick Olson here in the NLWN-TV studios, and it's homecoming at Colfax High School. So we're getting ready to bring you the Colfax Viking annual homecoming game. Tonight, the 1-6 Vikings, who are 0-5 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, will take on the 3-4 Glenwood City Hilltoppers, who are 1-4 in the Dun St. Croix. The Vikings are looking to finish the season on a strong note, and a win tonight would be a step in that direction. Meanwhile, the Hilltoppers are looking to notch another tally in the win column to get back to the 500 mark for the season. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's homecoming matchup between the Colfax Vikings and the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Then we'll get Coach Joe Baranik's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. And then Dan and I will bring you all the play-by-play action from tonight's game at the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex at Colfax High School. All that coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. Tonight, the Vikings will try to secure a homecoming victory by taking on the 3-4 Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Last week, the Vikings faced the Elmwood Plum City Wolves, who feature running back Trevor Asher. In that game, Asher was completely as advertised, rushing for 260 yards while leading the Wolves to a 48-18 win over the Vikings. The Vikings showed that they could move the ball against the Wolves, but it just wasn't enough to keep up with Asher. Now, in that game, the Vikings were led by Asher Pekka, who carried the ball 21 times for 98 yards and a touchdown.
Vikings back at the line of scrimmage. Second and goal, give straight up the middle, or third and goal, I should say, into the end zone. Touchdown! I haven't seen, now I see the officials say it. I saw a lot of hands sticking up, but they were all Viking hands. That was Pekka with the carry, straight up the middle.
That touchdown run by Pekka was set up by a double pass from Brian Tuchel to Theo Hovde to Cade Anderson.
Tuchel takes the ball, throw out into the flat to Hovde. Hovde throwing downfield. He's got his receiver down to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, that's something
Anderson on the reception.
That's something we haven't seen in a while, is Theo Hovde throwing the ball.
Hovde also contributed 96 yards of total offense with 34 yards through the air and 62 yards on the ground and a touchdown.
Beekner in the backfield. Give to Hovde going around the left side this time. He turns it up. He's across the 10 down to the 5 and into the end zone for a Viking touchdown.
Brian Tuchel was 4 for 10 through the air for 51 yards and a touchdown to Cade Anderson.
Hovde in motion. Tuchel back. Throws towards the end zone. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings! Anderson with the reception.
Defensively, the Vikings simply had no answer for Asher around the outside. However, they were led by Anderson, who had 9 total tackles, and Cameron Molina, who stuffed the middle with 4 devastating tackles.
Instead, it goes to Beckel, and he got hammered in the backfield by Cameron Molina.
For the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, who are coming off a 40-14 loss to Boyceville Bulldogs, they're being led by quarterback Brady Knopp, who is 31 for 60 for 467 yards through the air with a pair of touchdowns. They also rely on running back Mac Jensen, who has 555 yards rushing on 89 carries for an average of just over 6 yards per carry. Knopp's favorite receiver has been Brady Klatt, who has 13 catches for 141 yards. Klatt is also the Hilltoppers' leader on defense with 40 tackles and a tackle for loss and 2 sacks. Now, thus far this season, the Vikings are being led on the ground by Asher Pekka with 656 yards on 101 carries for an average of 6.5 yards per carry. Through the air, Brian Tuchel is 23 for 48 for 376 yards with 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions for a quarterback rating of 76.4. Tuchel's leading receiver so far this year is Theo Hovde, who has caught 10 passes for 228 yards and a touchdown. Defensively, leading the way for the Vikings is Pekka with 31 total tackles, including 2 tackles for loss and a sack, and a forced fumble. Now he's followed by Nick Jensen, who has 30 total tackles with 2 tackles for loss and 3 sacks and a forced fumble, as well as Cameron Molina with 27 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Now coming up next, I caught up with Coach Joe Baranek at practice a little earlier this week, and we'll get his perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then Dan and I will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's homecoming game from Colfax High School. All that coming up right after this timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training on a Friday afternoon, and the very next day he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. You don't know how much somebody can hide what's going on inside their head. Store your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, what they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Colfax Viking head coach Joe Baranek. And Joe, last Friday, the Vikings ran into a team which featured one of the finest running backs I've witnessed in a long time in the Elmwood Plum City Wolves with Trevor Asher, and the Wolves came out on top 48-18. Your comments about that game?
Yeah, just a natural runner for sure. They got a good system built up for him there. Got one flying around my head right now. Certainly a good team we ran into. We did all right offensively, but certainly when you're going up against a team like that, you have to go through your fundamentals. We got to wrap up some knees, got to wrap up some legs. We can't play up high with him, and we found ways to showcase him a little bit. So something to work on in practice this week.
Now, it appeared as though the Vikings, aside from not being able to stop Asher, moved the ball pretty well against the Wolves. How do you convince a group of young players like you have that after a loss like that you're actually doing a lot of things right?
Just getting them to realize, and I think they do, that it's a good talent they're going up against. I think he is a leader in the state rushing yards, but getting them to rise to the challenge and realizing that they have the tools in place to not necessarily stop him, but to contain him as well, and realizing that they still have a couple opportunities here in this season to showcase what they've done so far and what they learned.
Now this week, the Vikings face a team that, well, at least on paper, they match up pretty well with in the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. What do we know about the Hilltoppers?
Very multiple on what they do on offense and defense. You never know what you're going to get, but imagine they come out and give us a system similar to what EPC did after seeing some film. So we'll probably expect that on offense. Defense could get any looks, but good football team, good well-coached football team over in Glenwood City, and it's an opportunity for us to end on a high note here, especially with our last home game and it being homecoming for us.
Now, here's an annual challenge that you run into. It's homecoming week here at Colfax, and with all the homecoming activities that are taking place, how do you keep the Vikings focused on the task at hand?
Just get them to realize that homecoming is about the football game at the end of the day, and not getting lost in the moment, right? And realizing that we still have a job to do come Friday. So being mentally sharp, being mentally prepared, physically prepared, and I think we're doing a good job of that so far, and we just need to continue it here in practice this week.
Now, are there any injuries coming out of last Friday's game that we need to be aware of?
No, thankfully, knock on wood, we're staying relatively healthy. Other than the occasional licks and bruises and bumps, we're doing all right in that front.
You know, in fact, that was one of the main concerns at the beginning of the season with roster numbers like what you have in the low 20s. Any injuries are really drastic when it comes to that. And knock on wood, so far you guys have been pretty lucky that way.
Yeah, I think part of it is our reduced schedule. We're unfortunately not able to do JV games, but it's kind of turned into a positive for us as well. We've had moments where we get those younger kids some snaps on Friday nights, so I think that's been beneficial. And we're not overworking those kids that would be kind of tweeners for us, where they're maybe playing one side of the ball and then going down and playing JV. So overall, I think it's a net positive, and we'll hope to grow the roster in the years coming here.
Well, thank you, Coach Baranek, for joining us today on Coach's Corner, and hopefully the Vikings can come away with a homecoming victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Rick.
Coming up, more Viking pregame.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, with a look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Stay tuned. There's more Viking pregame coming up right after this brief timeout. You're listening to Viking pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
All out on 3. 1, 2, 3. All out. 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 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Bring it down.
Welcome back to Viking pregame. Tonight, the Vikings will take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers in the hopes of gaining a victory for their 2022 homecoming. This is also an opportunity to finish the season on a strong note against two teams that, at least on paper, the Vikings match up well against. Meanwhile, the Hilltoppers would like to finish the season at or above the 500 mark, and a win tonight would put them right there. So it all adds up to some exciting high school football action, and we'll have all of it for you right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Now, in just a few moments, I'll join our broadcast crew at the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex at Colfax High School, and we'll have all the play-by-play action for you coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
You've been listening to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings game. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking Football.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking Football is on the air. The Northern Light Webcasting Network, in conjunction with Colfax High School, proudly presents today's Colfax Vikings game. And now, out to the stadium for coverage of today's Colfax Vikings game.
And good evening, and welcome to the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex here at Colfax High School, where it's homecoming for the Vikings as they're going to take on the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Rick Olson here along with Dan Petchow, Chris Olson on the camera. A nice crowd for homecoming. And we're about to get the player introductions from the public address announcer as Glenwood City is making room for the color guard to march off the field. And a lot of youngsters heading out on the field to hold the banner.
Good evening, football fans. Welcome to tonight's God Save Great Conference football matchup between the Glenwood City Hilltoppers and your Colfax Vikings. Introducing first the defensive starters for Glenwood City. Number 2, Morgan Biggert. Number 6, Eli Derby. Number 7, Dave Canopus. Number 10, Max Jansen. Number 11, Brady Claxby. Number 17, Jaden Quinn. Number 24, Mitchell McGee. Number 56, Stephen Booth. Number 60, Connor Gross. Number 68, Nick Perlmeyer. And number 72, Jared Hager. The Hilltoppers are coached by Shannon Strong. And now, introducing the seniors for your Colfax Viking. Number 10, Brian Kuschel. Number 50, Nick Jensen. Number 51, Mark Solberg. Number 52, Ashton Greenwell. Number 53, Dylan Pila. And number 65, Brody Everson. The Vikings are coached by Chad Evenson, Gideon St. Albert, and Jacob Steinke.
And so for the first time this season, the Vikings were not introduced as a team because they wanted to take a minute and recognize their seniors this year.
Yeah, that's a pretty good senior class too right there.
Plenty of talent in that senior class, although not huge numbers, which bodes well for the Vikings for upcoming years. And once again, Dan, we did not see the opening toss, and so evidently the Vikings will be kicking off to Glenwood City. Drew Buechner getting ready to tee up the ball, and looking down at the other end, it looks like it's Max Jansen on the near side, and Eggert is back there. Morgan Eggert on the far side. The whistle blows. Buechner, they try an onside kick. It takes the high hop and falling on it. And the Vikings have it on an onside kick to start the game. And they got the high hop on the kick, and it bounced over the front line of the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, and the Vikings were right on top of it, and they have it 1st and 10 at the Glenwood City 42-yard line.
Yeah, that's one thing we've seen all season is special teams has been right on their game this year.
All right, Vikings come up to the line of scrimmage. Eli Ralph split out wide to the right. Hoffman in the slot on the right. Anderson goes in motion. They give it, or Tuchel keeps it himself, gets it down across the 40, maybe to the 39. I think they're going to mark it right on the 40. So it's a gain of about 1.5 yards. So it's 2nd down and a long 8, short 9. Vikings come up to the line. Eli Ralph in tight on the right side this time. Hovde in motion. And they give it to Anderson coming around the left side. And he gets across the 40 down to about the 38-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. Boy, it'd be nice to see the Vikings pick up a 1st down and make something out of that onside kick. Vikings come up to the line. Tuchel under center. Ralph on the right. Tuchel dropping back, looking downfield on the left side, and he threw it, but Hovde got knocked out of bounds back around the 25-yard line before the ball was in the air.
Yeah, I thought there was a bump there, Burr.
And, well, he got knocked out of bounds. I don't know why it wasn't illegal contact. Hoffman back in punt formation, standing at the 50-yard line. Jansen back deep to receive. Hoffman keeps it. He rolls to the left side and got knocked out of bounds back at the 42-yard line. And it's going to be Glenwood City ball, 1st down at that spot. So basically, that onside kick went for naught.
Yeah, that almost looked like maybe it was supposed to have been a fake punt. Because he had time back there.
Yeah, I think that was a fake punt from the get-go, and it just didn't work. All right, Glenwood City gives the ball going around the right side and down across the 50 to the 45, down to the 42-yard line. It's Morgan Eggert on the carry. Glenwood City's been watching film. They're going to test the outside because that's where the Vikings have shown they've had difficulty. Up to the line of scrimmage. Gabe Knops in the shotgun. Snap it directly back to Max Jansen, and he gets it down across the 40 to about the 38-yard line. Gain of about 4, 2nd and 6.
Big number 53, Dylan Hidela, kind of disrupted that play.
Glenwood City up to the line, splitting out wide to this side is Quinn. They run it to the left side and getting down to the 30-yard line, maybe even the 29. I believe that was Eggert on the carry. So they mark it right on the 30-yard line. Glenwood City up to the line of scrimmage. Direct snap, gives it to Eggert coming around, and he got hit right at the line of scrimmage. Nick Jensen on the tackle. They're running a formation that's awfully similar to what we saw last week at Elmwood Plum City, where they're putting Gabe Knops and Max Jansen, and both take direct snaps. This time they're not in that formation. Mitch McGee is back there along with Knops. Knops throwing out in the flat. He's got his receiver on the right side down to around the 10-yard line, and that's Rosbach.
Hoffman on the tackle for Colfax.
Or check that. It wasn't number 1. I missed it by 1. It was 11. There were 2 1s, not just 1 1. It was Brady Klatt on the reception. So they're at the 10-yard line. They split a receiver real wide out to the left side. Snap it straight back to Knops. He takes it up off the right tackle and gets it down to about the 6. And that's where they're going to put it. 2nd and goal. Hilltoppers at the line of scrimmage. They put a man in motion. They give it to Klatt coming around the left side. He tries to turn the corner, gets taken down at the 5. Jensen on the tackle.
Yeah, good job by 50 Nick Jensen to get a open field tackle.
3rd down goal. Hilltoppers up to the line. This is a big play right now for the Vikings. Knott gives it straight up the middle, and he didn't get anywhere. He might have got as far as the 4-yard line. Ball was carried by McGee. Yeah, it's just inside the 5. We'll say on the 4. 4th and goal from the 4.
Solberg and Ashton Greenwell in the tackle for Colfax.
Hilltoppers spread things out, wide out. Knopp in the shotgun. He takes it himself, rolls to the right. Looks in towards the end zone, and it's incomplete. And the Viking defense holds. 1st and 10 Vikings at their own 5.
Yeah, good timing by Theo Hovde for Colfax to knock that ball away.
So the Vikings 95 yards away from pay dirt. Vikings at the line. They put Hovde in motion. Give it straight up the middle. Peck on the carry. He got it out across the 5 to about the 7. Gain of a couple. 2nd down 8. Vikings up to the line. Ralph split out wide to the right. Hoffman in the slot. Hovde in motion. They try to give it up off tackle on the left side, and there wasn't much room there. Looks like no gain on the play. Third down for the Vikings. They're going to give them a yard on the play out to the 8-yard line, so it's 3rd and 7. Tuchel brings the Vikings up to the line. They're tight on both sides. Hovde in motion. Tuchel dropping back, looking out to the left. He's got a receiver, and it was Anderson, but it's incomplete. He overshot the mark a little bit. Anderson also ran into a little bit of difficulty from Knops.
Yeah, good
An
coverage.
impediment in his way.
Yeah, good coverage by Knops for Glenwood City there.
4th down, 7. Hoffman probably going to kick it this time. The snap. He gets the punt away. Line drive kick. Knops takes it. Or check that. That's not Knops. That's Jansen. He gets it around the right side and down inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. So excellent field position for the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. They mark it on the 26. 1st and 10.
Yeah, Colfax defense has to get a little pressure on this Glenwood City offense.
All right, Hilltoppers come up in that single wing. Snap to Jansen. He takes it right up the middle, and he's met by a host of Vikings.
50. Nick Jensen on the tackle for Colfax.
He gained about a yard. 2nd down, 9. They're on the 25. And again, they come up to the line of scrimmage. Glenwood City does spread those receivers out wide. Knops waiting for the snap. It's at his feet. He picks it up, throws it over the middle. It's incomplete. He was intending that pass for Eggert. Was running a slant pattern. Had pretty good coverage that time. 3rd and 9. No score, 4:26 to go in quarter number 1. Hilltoppers at the line. Knops drops back. Throws a screen pass on the left side, and taking it down to about the 20-yard line is Mitch McGee.
Good open field tackle by 22, Cade Anderson.
They're going to mark it on the 21. 4th down, 5 yards to go. Glenwood City 0 for 1 on 4th down conversions tonight. Knops waiting for the snap. And we have a timeout called by Glenwood City as they were trying to draw the Vikings off sides. But we have a timeout on the field. No score as you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN.
On relationships.
Dairy State Bank's mobile app gives you full control of your finances. Misplace your debit card? Simply turn it off and no one else can use it. When you find the card, you can turn it back on. You can also set spending limits. Great if your kids have a card. These and other features like mobile deposit let you bank from anywhere, anytime. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Dairy State Bank.
Hello guys and ghouls. Be sure to join me in my feeds at NLWN-TV for our 2nd annual Halloween Spectacular, where we will bring you some of the best in Halloween-themed old-time radio programs. We will include Father Knows Best, Fibber McGee and Molly, Suspense, and we'll wrap it all up with the Mercury Theater on the air's presentation of Dracula. That's all on Halloween night, Monday, October 31st at 7 p.m. on NLWN-TV.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, 4th and 5. Knops rolls out to his right. He's looking downfield, plants his feet, throws towards the end zone. Incomplete. He was out of bounds, even if he did come down with it, which I'm not sure he did. It was intended for Brady Klatt, and he was covered back there by Drew Beekner. And the ball goes over on downs to the Vikings at the 21-yard line. .333 to go in the first quarter. And the give up the middle did not, or the keeper by Tuchel lost a couple of yards. Second down, 12. Hoffman tight on the right side. Ralph tight on the left. Hovde in motion. They pitch it to Hovde. He's trying to come down the right side, and he got back to the 20-yard line, and it's a gain of about a yard maybe. It's going to be 3rd and 11. Glenwood City did a pretty good job of stringing that one out.
Yeah, looks like so far this is going to be a defensive battle between the two teams.
You're absolutely right. Vikings up to the line of scrimmage. Tuchel under center. Takes a snap. Drops back, looking off to his right, and he gets taken down for a sack. Back inside the 15 at about the 12-yard line. It'll be 4th down and long for the Vikings. Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, Dan, this one brings memories of last night's NFL game between Denver and Indianapolis. 7 field goals in that game. Very little offense. Hoffman back in punt formation. The ball rolls back to him. He picks it up. Kicks it. It's a high kick. Coming down. Gets a Viking roll across the 50. Rolls dead at about the 48-yard line.
Good kick by Hoffman.
He was lucky to get that one away because it just rolled back to him. And you could see he shortened up his leg a little bit for fear of getting it blocked, but he got the roll. So Glenwood City with the ball in their own territory at the 48-yard line. And they come up to the line of scrimmage. Knops takes the ball, quick toss off to the right side, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Max Jansen. 2nd and 10. They tried to do that quick hitter out on the right side. Jaden Quinn splits out wide to the left. Eggert is out wide to the right. Knops looking downfield, and it's intercepted! Pekka with the interception, and he gets back to the 48-yard line for the Vikings. And on Groggy Street is Morgan Eggert, as he's going to head over to the sidelines and clear some of the cobwebs out of his head.
Yeah, Pekka jumping the route, getting the interception.
So the Vikings have it 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. Minute 23 to go in the first quarter. Anderson in motion. Tuchel back to throw. Looking out in the flat, and it's intercepted the other way. Heading down the field is Jaden Quinn, and he gets taken out of bounds at the 31-yard line of the Vikings. Tuchel kind of let that one lay up there a little too long, and Jaden Quinn jumped in and took the interception right down the sideline. Glenwood City up to the line of scrimmage. Give up off tackle, and down to about the 20-yard line is Max Jansen.
Hovde on the tackle for Colfax.
They're going to mark it right on the 20-yard line, and that's enough for a first down. Glenwood City comes up to the line. In that single wing. Snap to Jansen, tries to go to the right side, and he got met right about the line of scrimmage. That's right where they're going to put the ball.
Yeah, we were talking about this before the game, that I was talking to the Glenwood City coach, and they've had a little injury problem with their offensive line, so they've been trying to piece it together the last 3-4 games. So kind of matches up well with the Colfax defense right now.
Up to the line of scrimmage. Knops in the shotgun. Takes it himself up off the left side. Got down to the 15-yard line. Gain of about 5. 3rd down 5. Zach Hill into the lineup for Glenwood City. But that's the end of the first quarter. No score tonight. Glenwood City nothing, Vikings nothing, and you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are your animals feeling a little under the weather? Give the nice folks at Colfax Animal Hospital a call. Bruce Buckley is just what the doctor ordered. In fact, he is the doctor, and he's ready to help. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Give them a call at 715-962-3380.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
Back at Colfax High School on a chilly Friday night. Perfect night for football. Knops in the shotgun for Glenwood City. Keeps it himself and got met in the backfield. Cameron Molina coming through and making the big stop.
Yeah, Cameron Molina's made some big hits this year for Colfax.
Ball gets marked back at the 16-yard line. Loss of a yard. Brings on 4th and 6. Knops looking downfield. It's got time. Throws it over the middle, and the pass is complete to Zach Hill. Down around the 4-yard line. It's going to be a first down, 1st and goal for Glenwood City. Knops had plenty of time that time.
Yeah, little hole there in the Colfax zone defense.
Jaden Quinn into the lineup. Replaces Hill. Splitting out wide to the right is Hallback. Throws off to the right side into the end zone. Touchdown for Glenwood City. Max Jansen on the reception. And Glenwood City is trying to decide, well, what they're gonna do here, and they're probably gonna cost them a timeout, and it is. So we have a timeout on the field. The score: Glenwood City 6, Vikings nothing. And you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up on Friday, October 14th. The Colfax Vikings will travel to Clear Lake to take on the Clear Lake Warriors. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking pregame. That's live Colfax Viking Football on Friday, October 14th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Back here at Colfax High School, Glenwood City had to burn a timeout because there was some indecision as to how they were going to attempt the extra point here. And they are going to try to kick it. Brady Klatt to do the kicking. Out of the hold of Andrew Blazer. Waiting for the snap. There it is. Place. The kick is up. And it looked like it might have been deflected, but it went between the uprights. And so that makes the score Glenwood City 7 and the Vikings nothing. And you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 715-586-1302. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
7-0 is the score. Glenwood City on top of the Vikings as they're getting ready to kick off. Brady Klatt to kick off. Back deep to receive for the Vikings. Looks like Hovde and Pekka. Klatt has the ball teed up. There's the whistle. He approaches the ball, swings the leg, and drives it down to Hovde, who takes it at the 15. He's out across the 30 and gets out to about the 34-yard line. They're going to mark it right on the 35. First down, Vikings at that point.
Number 6, Eli Nerby on the tackle for Glenwood City.
All right, Vikings come up to the line. One of the things I've noticed they haven't done much of tonight is run Asher Pekka right up the middle. Anderson in motion. There's Pekka right up the middle. And he breaks through into the secondary, and he's off and running and gets hauled down at the 40-yard line of Glenwood City. They must have listened to me.
That good run. Comes up a little gingerly, but he'll make it back to the huddle.
About 25-yard gain for Asher Pekka. Vikings at the line. Hovde in motion. They try to give it to Pekka, and he looked like he got stepped on or tripped over a foot somewhere. That kind of held him up and allowed Glenwood City to come in and make the tackle for a loss of about a half a yard.
Yeah, Colfax has been trying to run it right up the middle, and Glenwood City's done a pretty good job holding them back.
Second and a long 10. for the Vikings as they come up to the line. Ralph off to the right. Anderson in motion. Pekka gets the ball, driving forward, got that half a yard back. It's going to be 3rd down and about 10.
Pekka comes off a little hitch in his giddy up there. No worse for wear, though.
He looks like he's kind of frustrated about something. Vikings come up to the line. They've got receivers split out wide on both sides now. Hovde goes in motion. Hovde takes a pitch. He's going to fire it downfield. Intended for Hoffman and just overthrew him a little bit. It's a wrinkle that was similar to one we saw last week.
Yeah, I don't know if Hoffman thought maybe that it wasn't coming because he stopped on his route. Ball just sailed over his head.
4th down 10. Looks like it's going to be 4 down territory for the Vikings because Tuchel takes the play back into the huddle. 3 receivers split out wide to the right. Tuchel tosses it to Hovde. He's looking downfield. Oh, he's got a man wide open and he missed him. Oh my goodness, he had Kate Anderson wide open. Nobody in the same zip code, and it just went through his hands. Anderson went up to try to get it as high as he could and just couldn't quite make the connection.
Yeah, the Glenwood City DB over there was hollering for help. He had trips over there, and the help came a little late.
Well-designed play, just didn't work this time. So Glenwood City takes over at their own 40-yard line. Knops keeps it himself straight up the middle, gets it out near the 50-yard line.
Number 50, Nick Jensen on the tackle for Colfax.
He got across the 50 down to the Viking 49-yard line. It'll be a 1st down. Glenwood City at the line. Knops drops back, looking downfield. Still looking. He's under some pressure. Scrambles over to his right. Keeps it himself and gets run out of bounds and runs over one of the managers of the Vikings.
Is there a...
It looks like he's okay. He went out of bounds at about the 47-yard line.
And we have pink flags tonight instead of yellow flags, and we got a flag on the side.
Personal foul against the Vikings. I thought it was a challenge flag when I first saw it down there.
They're just saying it was a late hit out of bounds.
So that moves the ball down to the 32-yard line where it's 1st and 10 for Glenwood City. Klatt goes in motion to give it to Klatt, going around the left side, turns the corner, heads up field. He's across the 20 down to about the 17-yard line.
You got Colfax, or Glenwood City's front four is starting to make some holes.
So 1st and 10, as they're at, they spotted it on the 18-yard line. Hilltoppers at the line. Snapping, taking it up off the left side is Jansen. He gets it down around the 10. That's a gain of about 8. Gain of 8 brings up second down and a long 2. They split a receiver out wide to the right. Knops by himself. Keeps it up. Takes it over to the left side. Turns the corner. Heads towards the pylon. And in he goes. And we have a penalty marker on the play.
Back in that area of holding.
And it is a hold against Glenwood City. Boy, I don't see those pink flags quite as often.
That's why I'm not allowed to do laundry. Because clothes seem to change colors once in a while.
Oh, you don't wash the reds with the whites, do you, Dan?
They all go together.
Four receivers split out wide. Knops takes the snap, drops back, looking downfield, and the pass gets batted down right back into Knops' hands. And he keeps it himself, gets knocked out of bounds somewhere right around the 10.
Yeah, Nick Jensen.
Jensen batted the ball out of the air, but it went right back into the hands of Knops. You know, that's who caught Brett Favre's first pass, was Brett Favre. On a play very similar to that. All right, third down and about 3. Snap goes off the left side, or the right side, heading towards the goal line and into the end zone. Max Jansen on the carry. That'll make it 13-0 Glenwood City. Brady Klatt to try the extra point. Again, that's out of the hold of Andrew Blazer. Blazer's a sophomore quarterback. I was watching him in warm-ups. He's got a nice arm, too. And the Vikings jump off sides. That'll be half the distance to the goal, but it changes the mind of Glenwood City as far as what they're going to do. So now they're on the 1.5-yard line. Boy, I tell you what, Dan. I don't want that official dividing things in half for me at all, because that's more than half the distance to the goal. If he does the dividing, I get the first choice. Snap and the ball goes up the middle, carried by Knops into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. So that makes the score Glenwood City 15, Vikings 0. And you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings.
All right, Glenwood City has opened up a 15-0 lead over the Vikings. 7:03 to go in the first half. Brady Klatt getting ready to kick off for the Hilltoppers. Hovde and Pekka are back deep. And here's the kick. It's coming down to Hovde. Picks it up at about the 17. Takes it around the right side. Gets out to about the 30-yard line where he's pulled down. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings at the 30-yard line. Ralph splitting out wide to the left. Hoffman out wide to the right. Anderson in motion, giving it up the middle to Pekka, and he gets across the 30 to about the 32. And a penalty marker comes flying late. And I think they're going to call the Vikings with a late hit. Personal foul. Unsportsmanlike conduct is being called against the Vikings. I didn't see who made the hit, but a Glenwood City player went flying.
Yeah, it was number 20, Colton Hoffman, just came in a little late.
So it's 1st and 25 for the Vikings. Or it's at the point of infraction, so it's 1st down and 23. They're back at the 17-yard line. Hovde goes in motion. The pitch coming to Anderson around the left side, and he got met in the backfield back at the 15-yard line. Loss of 2.
That big hit by number 11, Brady Klatt, for the Hilltoppers.
They mark it on the 16-yard line. 2nd down, 24. Tight formation for the Vikings. Anderson in motion. Give up the middle. Pekka gets it across the 15 down to about the 18-yard line.
Yeah, not much there for Colfax.
3rd down. Zach Hedela into the lineup. He's split out wide on the left side.
Looks like they're going to punt.
Oh, it is 4th down. And we have a penalty marker goes flying.
That delay a game?
Well, that's not the usual signal for delay a game. Illegal substitution is what's called. And it might be due to the fact, I'm not sure Zach Hedela got inside what are called the numbers, and you have to go far enough onto the field to be a legal substitution.
Okay.
So 4th and 27 for the Vikings. Snap goes to Hoffman. He gets the kick away. Got a nice spiral kick. Comes down at the 43-yard line where the Hilltoppers have it, and they return it back to about the 31-yard line. Max Jansen on the return. And they'll have it 1st and 10. And they're going to put it, I think, on the 31. Now he said it right on the 30. I tell you, from my eyes, he never got close to the 30. But who am I?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like 35 to 38, somewhere there. But.
All right, 1st down. Glenwood City. Single wing formation again. And they take it off the left side. That's Jansen. Gets it down to about the 25-yard line. They're going to mark it on the 26. Gain of 4. 2nd down, 6. Receivers split out both sides. Knops looking, the ball gets batted down. This time, Jensen batted it straight down. So it's incomplete. 3rd down 6.
Yeah, number 50, Nick Judson's had a good senior year this year playing football.
Hilltoppers at the line. Slots on both sides. Klatt goes in motion. We have a penalty marker goes flying. Illegal motion or false start. Makes it 3rd and 11. Well, I guess this makes up for it because they just marked off a 6-yard penalty. 3rd down 12 because they're out to the 32-yard line. Glenwood City comes up to the line of scrimmage. 2 slot receivers on the right side. Looking to the left, throws it incomplete, intended for Klatt is incomplete, and it brings up 4th down 12. Check that wasn't Klatt, that was Jaden Quinn. So 4th down, 12 yards to go for the Glenwood City Hilltoppers at the Viking 32-yard line. Three receivers out to the right side as Knops looking downfield. Pass is batted away and incomplete. Hovde on the coverage. No, check that.
Number 7.
That was Matt Dockel on the coverage, but did a nice job of knocking that ball away, and the ball goes over on downs to the Vikings. 1st and 10 at their own 32-yard line. Chilly evening tonight at Colfax High School. Dan even brought his heater.
You know,
and actually it's almost too hot. Vikings hand it up the middle. Pekka on the carry, gets it out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Gain of about 4. It's going to bring up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, I thought it might be a little foolish to bring this, but I'm glad I did now.
But you didn't bring the marshmallows, Dan. Hovde in motion. They give it to Anderson again, and they met him in the backfield. That play coming around to the left side to Anderson just has not been there tonight.
Yeah, Colfax is trying to stick with that run game, and Hilltoppers have done a real good job defending it.
Tuchel takes the play into the huddle. 3rd down 6. Anderson in motion, giving it straight up the middle. Pekka finds a hole. He's broken it across the 50 and takes it down to the 46-yard line. 1st down, Vikings. And we have a timeout on the field.
Yeah, good job by number 70, Christian Ebert and Solberg to make a hole.
So with a timeout on the field, you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You're tuned to the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. We use advertising revenue to make this service available to you. If you have a business and would like to get your message out to our ever-increasing audience, give us a call at 715-563-1749. We'll be happy to discuss our budget-friendly advertising packages with you. Get your business noticed on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV by calling 715-563-1749.
Back here at the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex at Colfax High School. 2:53 to go in the first half. Vikings trying to drive down the field to maybe get a score right before halftime. Ralph split out wide to the right. Anderson in motion.
Fumble?
Fumble loose on the ground, and it's recovered by
Colfax.
It looks like Mark Solberg got a paw around that ball and pulled it in. Second down. It's a loss of a couple, 2nd and 12. Vikings up to the line. Ralph splits out wide to the right. Anderson in motion. Give to Hovde going to the right side. He got met just as he turned it up off in that guard tackle gap. And he gained about a yard. So third down and about 12 yards to go. Ralph tight on the left this time, and we're going to get a timeout on the field. Timeout called by the Vikings. Glenwood City 15, Vikings nothing, and you're tuned to Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Back at Colfax High School, minute 47 before halftime. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, during Viking halftime, our Viking profile today will be Colton Hoffman. We're going to get to know all about him. Vikings at the line of scrimmage. Hovde in motion, and we get a lot of movement, and I think it's going to go against the Vikings. Solberg knew it, too, as soon as he did it. So that brings up third down and about 17 for the Vikings. Three receivers split out wide to the right side. Tuchel tosses to Hovde. Hovde looking to throw. He's in trouble, but he gets it down deep, and it's incomplete.
Kate Anderson looking for a flag. Didn't get it.
Double coverage on Anderson that time. Hovde put it up in the air after just about getting sacked. One of these times they're going to run it. He's going to fake the pass and just tuck it and go, and he's going to find he's got room. Hoffman in punt formation. Jansen back deep to receive for Glenwood City. Snap to Hoffman. Gets the kick away. End over end kick. Takes a Viking roll, and Jansen takes a knee with it at the 23-yard line, where Glenwood City will have it 1st and 10. Hilltoppers come up to the line of scrimmage. Everybody tight. They give the ball to Jansen. He takes it around the left side. He gets out across the 30-yard line to about the 31.
Getting tackled by Hovde and 66, Cameron Molina.
It's going to bring up 2nd down 3 after that 7-yard gain. And up to the line of scrimmage. Snap. And Jansen keeps it again, this time going to the right side. Taken down real close to the first down.
Tripped up by Hovde. Hovde looks a little banged up.
And he's going to come off and
What if he's got a stinger?
Get things taken care of. First down, Glenwood City. Knops kept it himself, or Knops. That was right. He gained about a yard and a half. I think they'll call it 2nd and 8. That might be the last play of the first half. I don't think they have to run a play. They do come up to the line of scrimmage. Looks like they're going to. And the snap to Jansen as he takes it around the left side. He finds an opening. He's heading, cuts back and gets taken down out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Clock keeps running and we are at halftime. So we've gotten to halftime with the score. The Glenwood City Hilltoppers 15, Vikings nothing. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Time now for Viking Halftime with this week's Viking Profile and other halftime entertainment.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we get to know one of this season's Colfax Viking players. And now Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Colton Hoffman. And Colton, you're a junior at Colfax High School.
Yep. And
obviously we know you play football or we wouldn't be standing right here. But what other activities are you involved with at school?
Currently, after football season, it's going to be basketball and then just lifting.
Okay. All right. When did you start playing football, and what kind of experience have you had?
I was back in middle school. Had fun on defense, just running around, attacking the quarterback, terrorizing those little guys. But I've always enjoyed it. It's been my favorite sport.
Now, what's the most important thing that you've learned playing football?
Together and unity, just playing as a unit.
Okay. So when you're not playing football or you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
Watching a lot of NFL, playing some Xbox, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Rapid fire questions for you. You knew these were coming. These are the tough ones, you know. Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Ice cream.
And your flavor?
Rocky Road or sea salt caramel.
Both are really good choices. Okay. Favorite NFL team?
Packers.
And the favorite college team?
Badgers.
Now, if you had a superpower, what do you think that would be and why?
Controlling time. And, I feel like I could rob a couple banks Get away with it.
Get away with it because all of a sudden you'd be back before it was robbed, but you still have the money, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't want to encourage criminal activity here, but a guy can dream, can't he? Right?
Yep.
Now, if you had a superpower like that, of course you have to have a superhero name. And of course you'd only rob the banks to do good, right?
Of course, be like Robin Hood.
Yeah, okay. And so what would be your superhero name?
Definitely Baby Hoff.
Baby Hoff.
Yep.
Okay. The bank may have been robbed by Baby Hoff. We'll find out. Film at 11. Okay. We're talking with Colton Hoffman today on Viking Profile. And Colton, what are your plans for after high school?
Probably a trade school and go into a career. I am not 100% sure yet, though.
Okay. Tell you what, why don't you give a shout out to your family?
Tanner Hoffman, my big brother, Amber Hoffman, my mom, Jeremy Hoffman, my dad, and my sister Ariana, and my dogs.
Got to put the dogs in there. They're part of the family, right?
Of course.
Okay. And when people come to Viking games, what number do you wear? What position are you playing?
I'll be wearing number 20, and I'll be playing outside linebacker and slot back.
Okay, we want to thank Colton Hoffman for joining us today on Viking Profile. Coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been tuned to Viking Profile, where we get to know one of this season's Colfax Viking players. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned as more Viking Halftime is coming right up.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
have a great time listening to this high-energy song from the band. They create a basketball game on the field this evening. Please enjoy Megalomania. This song's music video has gained over 1.2 billion views on YouTube to date. This is due in part to the popular internet trend of Rickrolling, which a link is posted which seems to be relevant to a given topic, but instead redirects the viewer to the music video of the song. This trend began in 2007 when someone posted a link to the music video disguised as a sneak preview of the highly anticipated video game Grand Theft Auto 4. Most famously, Rick Astley participated in Rickrolling, the Macy's Day Parade in 2008, appearing on a float and performing the song live. This song features our color guard under the direction of Captain Janica Larson and Elena Smith. We hope you enjoy Never Gonna Give You Up. help support the band in their future performances, including the fall concert on Tuesday, October 25th, our Veterans Day service on Friday, November 11th, our first annual Swing Thing Swing Dance on November 17th.
Don't stop.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. You tell me to stay rooted. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? The kind to hug or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter which you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, the Lee Bierquist Athletic Complex, where the Glenwood City Hilltoppers have a 15-0 lead as we're getting ready to start the second half. Dan, how did we get to 15-0 anyway?
Yeah, it was a pretty stingy first quarter by both defenses. After the first quarter, we didn't have a score yet. But in the second, with 10:49, number 10 for the Hilltoppers, Max Jansen gets a 12-yard touchdown pass to start the game at 7-0. Then a little over 3 minutes later, at 7:03, Max comes back with a 9-yard touchdown run to make it, and then they went for two, got it, and it's 15-0 Hilltoppers, and that is our only score right now. Both defenses have been fighting back and forth and keep it in the middle of the field.
Neither offense has really been able to get much of anything going. And the Glenwood City Hilltoppers a little more so than the Vikings, but the Vikings have been oh so close, and just a couple of passes that Theo Hovde threw on that double pass play were almost. The one he had to Anderson, where Anderson was in a county all by himself, they just missed connection on that. That was 6 points. But
yeah, I'm just kind of looking down the sidelines, talking about Theo Hovde. He did get dinged in the ear hole in the helmet, and they were doing a little concussion protocol. And
we'll have to see what his status is. He's still seated on the bench, and the Vikings are going to be receiving the kickoff. So his day might be done. We don't know that. We haven't heard it from anybody official. But Anderson and Pekka are back deep to receive for the Vikings. Brady Klatt getting ready to kick off for Glenwood City. And Klatt moves up, kicks the ball, comes down to one of the Upmen, and he loses the handle on it, and then fell on it at about the 35-yard line. And I couldn't see the number of the player who did that. It was on the far side of the field. So the Vikings will have it. 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. 42-degree Friday evening. Kind of chilly here in Colfax. Tuchel keeps it himself and gets wrapped up in the backfield.
And he's slow to get up.
He's real slow to get up.
Which is interesting because Hovde is their backup quarterback. But he looks okay.
They show it with a loss of about a yard, so it's 2nd and 11 from the 34. Tuchel heads back in. Other than a couple of big runs by Asher Pekka, there hasn't been a whole lot of Viking offense. Anderson goes in motion. Tuchel back to throw, throws it out in the flat and comes up a little bit short of Anderson swinging around the far side.
Oh, man, Anderson was wide open, too.
But he threw it down around the shins. 3rd and 11 for the Vikings. Vikings up to the line. Ralph split out wide to the right. Pekka in motion. Throw out to Ralph, and he got hit and taken down, and they're going to say incomplete.
Yeah, big hit by number 17, Jaden Quinn for the Hilltoppers.
Ralph had it in his hands, and then he got separated from the ball by Quinn. Colton Hoffman in punt formation. Max Jansen back to receive. Low squibbing kind of kick. Rolls down at the 40 and goes out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. So that's where Glenwood City will take over at their own 38. There's a nice crowd here tonight for homecoming. You can tell there's a good crowd because it was $190, I think they said, for the 50-50 raffle. Snap straight back to Knopson. He goes straight into the middle of the line, got across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 2 yards where they spot it. 2nd down 8.
Yeah, that interior of Colfax has been stingy all night for the Hilltoppers.
Hilltoppers at the line of scrimmage. They're in the single wing. Jansen gets the snap. He finds some room to keep running, and he's still on his feet. He's across the 40. Nobody's going to catch him, and he's going to take it all the way to the end zone. That's a 59-yard touchdown run for Max Jansen. It makes the score Glenwood City Hilltoppers 21 and the Vikings nothing. They'll come in and try that extra point attempt.
And, of course, I just jinxed them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Colfax defensive line.
Brady Klatt to attempt the kick. Andrew Blazer with the hold. Snap, the place, the kick gets up, and it's good. So, the score with 10:08 to go in the third quarter is Glenwood City 22 and the Vikings nothing, and you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
So the Vikings now trail 22-0 with 10:08 to go in the third quarter as Glenwood City getting ready to kick off. Brady Klatt teeing the ball up. Anderson and Pekka are back deep. And the kick is coming down and falling on it. Oh, it was Beekner and Anderson were back there. Beekner fell on the ball at about the 16-yard line.
Yeah, so we're going to see, we saw the last of Hovde for today. We got Tuchel as their quarterback, and I don't know who their backup now will be.
Well, it would be Anderson. That's what happened over at Cadott when Anderson went down and Hovde had the cast on his hand. And a give to... That's a give up the middle to Beekner. He got it out to the 20-yard line. Vikings come up to the line. Beekner in the backfield. Pekka in motion. Tuchel throwing it out in the flat. That's intended for Pekka on the wheel route, and he just couldn't quite get there. Brings up 3rd down and 8. Vikings at the line. Tuchel drops straight back, looking downfield. Now rolls out to his right. Throws it out in the flat, and Eli Ralph, the ball gets taken out of Ralph's hands and towards the end zone, into the end zone for a Glenwood City touchdown. Andrew Blazer takes it across the goal line.
Yeah, went right through
Ralph's hands.
And right into number 3, Andrew Blasser.
I thought it was Blazer, but...
Blazer?
I could be wrong about that. Klatt to try the extra point. The snap, the place, the kick, it's not going to get there. So the score remains Glenwood City 28, Vikings 0. And you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Well, Dan, what a revolting development that was. It threw the ball out in the flat, hit Eli Ralph. He got separated from the ball, and it went right into Glenwood City hands, and Andrew Blazer carried it into the end zone, and now the Vikings are down 4 touchdowns. And to make matters worse, yeah, it's true, Theo Hovde is in the concussion protocol. Kickoff comes down to Pekka, and he gets it out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings at their own 32. And to give up the minute. No, he kept it himself. Tuchel keeps it, gets it out to about the 35. And now they're going to mark it on the 34. It's going to be a gain of about a yard. 2nd down and 9. It's either a long 8 or a short 9. 2 receivers out wide to the right. Give up the middle.
Tuchel keeps it.
Tuchel kept it himself, and he got out to about the 43-yard line, and it's enough for a 1st down. 1st and 10 Vikings. Vikings come up to the line of scrimmage. Anderson in motion. Tuchel keeps it again, gets it across the 45. They're going to put it right on the 45. Short gain on the play, 2nd down 9. Vikings at the line, 2 receivers out wide to the left. Anderson in motion. Pitch to Pekka, trying to come around the right side, and he got met in the backfield and taken down at the 38-yard line.
Yeah. Good job by number 11, Brady Clatt for the Hilltoppers. Run that one down.
That's going to make it 3rd and 15 for the Vikings. All right, Vikings at the line. Anderson in motion. Tuchel looking out in the flat. It's intercepted. And heading down the sidelines is Gabe Knops. And we have a penalty marker. No, that's a football.
No, we do have a penalty marker at the 20.
Okay.
Yeah,
he was taken down at around the 5. Or is that the... It's hard to see when it's on the far side of that crown.
Yeah, Knops just dropped back in coverage.
Penalties against Glenwood City.
It's Glenwood City.
And
sideline,
after the penalty...
Sideline interference.
Okay. So after the penalty, it's going to be 1st and 10 at the Viking 23-yard line. They're at the line of scrimmage in that single wing again. And handing it off on a counter play back over to the right side. The ball goes to Hallbeck. And he gains about 2 maybe. Second and 8. Come back to the line of scrimmage. Jansen in the backfield along with Knops. Snap to Jansen, tries the right side. He gains some yards across the 20. And he's going to be right down near the 15-yard line. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Jansen and Knops in the backfield. Snap to Jansen. Tries the right side. Gets stood up. Gets pushed backwards, and a penalty marker comes flying in.
Yeah, late flag there.
And that came in from the backfield, from the defensive backfield. Looks like he got enough for the first down. And personal foul against Glenwood City and against Colfax. The two offset, but it came after the play was over, so they were dead ball penalties. So it is a first down for the Hilltoppers. Inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. .5:11 to go in the third quarter. And he gives straight up the middle and driving forward and into the end zone for a Glenwood City touchdown. And that was Brady Klatt on the carry. Making the score 34-0. They make the extra point. We're going to go to running time here, Dan. Which is not something we were looking for out of this game. Knops takes the ball, goes to the left side, gets around the corner and into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. Making the score, Glenwood City 36, Vikings nothing. And you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Are your pooch's proportions putting on pounds? Or is your kitty's constitution constantly complaining? Well, stop by and see the friendly folks at the Colfax Animal Hospital. Dr. Bruce Buckley and his staff will be happy to help you get your family friend back on the road to healthy living. That's the Colfax Animal Hospital. Call them at 715-962-3380.
Well, Dan, Glenwood City getting ready to kick off the ball. Brady Klatt to kick it away to the Vikings. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll be going to running time after this kick.
Yeah. Game opened up here in the second half.
Vikings have had a couple of really unfortunate breaks. Beekner and Pekka are back deep. Ball comes to Beekner. He finally finds a handle on it. Takes it up across the 30 out near the 35-yard line. And it'll be first down for the Vikings right there.
Eston Swinby on the tackle for the Hilltoppers.
So Vikings ball 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Hoffman split out wide to the right. Ralph to the left. Tuchel keeps it, turns it up. He gets it across the 35 and dives forward to about the 39-yard line. Gain of about 4. It's going to make it 2nd and 6. Hoffman splitting out again, wide to the right. Ralph to the left. Beekner in the backfield. Anderson in motion. Give to Beekner straight up the middle. Oh, check that. Tuchel kept it himself, and he gets it out to the 44-yard line. It's going to bring up third and about a yard. Vikings back up to the line. Hoffman out on the right. Ralph on the left. Pekka in motion. They give it up the middle to Beekner, and he got the first down across the 45 out to about the 48-yard line.
Yeah, good push by number 52, Ashton Greenwell.
So first and 10 Vikings they're at the line of scrimmage at the 49. Give to Beekner up the middle again. And he gains about 5, maybe 4 by the time they mark it. Second down 6 for the Vikings. And a give straight up the middle and met at the line of scrimmage, but fights his way forward for about a yard as Beekner. Oh, he got met just about the same time he got the ball and still fought his way forward for maybe 2 yards.
Yeah, kept those legs going.
Third down and about 4 yards to go for the Vikings. They got to get down to the 41. Pitch to Pekka, and he got met in the backfield, keeps fighting, and he's going to go down back at the 47-yard line. Be a loss of a couple. Fourth down. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Vikings come up to the line. Pekka in motion. Tuchel throwing out into the flat. He's got his receiver who brought it down right at the 40-yard line. Should be enough for a first down.
Yeah, good throw by Tuchel to keep it low. There was 2 defenders over there and left it only in an area that the receiver could catch it.
Good effort by Hoffman to go down and get it, too. Vikings back to the line. Ralph split out wide to the left. Hoffman on the right. Vikings handed up the middle to Beekner, and he did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Loss of about a half a yard. And that's going to take us to the end of the third quarter with the score. Glenwood City Hilltoppers 36 and the Vikings nothing. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Dairy State Bank's mobile app gives you full control of your finances. Misplace your debit card? Simply turn it off and no one else can use it. When you find the card, you can turn it back on. You can also set spending limits. Great if your kids have a card. These and other features like mobile deposit let you bank from anywhere, anytime. Dairy State Bank. Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Be sure to join me and my feeds at NLWN-TV for our second annual Halloween Spectacular, where we will bring you some of the best in Halloween-themed old-time radio programs. We will include Father Knows Best, Fibber McGee and Molly, Suspense, and we'll wrap it all up with the Mercury Theater on the air's presentation of Dracula. That's all on Halloween night, Monday, October 31st at 7 p.m. on NLWN-TV.
And we're getting ready to start the fourth quarter. Vikings trailing 36-0. They have the ball. Second down and 11 at the Glenwood City 41-yard line. Pekka goes in motion. Tuchel keeps it himself. Penalty flag comes flying in. He got back to the 40. That's right in the area of a hold. We'll have to wait and see what they say, but I have a suspicion that that's what we've got. Holding is the call against the Vikings. So that'll back it up 10 yards, and we're back in Viking territory, back at the 48-yard line. So 23 yards to go. Vikings up to the line of scrimmage. Anderson goes in motion. Tuchel keeps it himself and got wrapped up in the backfield. A lot of penetration coming from Glenwood City now. Back at about the 45-yard line. They're actually going to mark it at the 46-yard line. But that's a loss of 2 more. Third down, 24 yards to go. Vikings come up to the line. Tuchel throwing out in the flat, overthrows Pekka at about the 40-yard line. That's going to bring up fourth down. Hoffman drops back into punt formation. Max Jensen back deep for Glenwood City. Snap to Hoffman. He gets a nice kick away, end over end, and taken down by Jensen at about the 35-yard line. That's where they're going to put it, is right on the 35. And it's 1st and 10, Glenwood City right there. 9:15 or so to go.
Glenwood City takes over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Vikings have a bit of a disappointing homecoming. They'd like to finish it on a high note, make something happen. Glenwood City in the single wing. Snap to Jansen. Takes it up off the left side and rolls forward to about the 41-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 6, 2nd down 4. New quarterback into the lineup. Andrew Blazer is in there for the Hilltoppers. He's in the backfield with Jansen. Jansen takes the direct snap, goes off the right side, finds a little bit of a hole, and gets it out across the 45 to about the 47-yard line. That's going to be a first down.
Good hit by number 7, Matt Dockel for Colfax.
Gain of 7 on the play, 1st and 10.
So 1st and 10. Hilltoppers up to the line. That single wing formation still. Jansen again on the carry, takes it off the right side, breaks through a hole and gets down across the 45, down to the 42-yard line. First down, Glenwood City.
Tackle by number 32, Beekner for Colfax.
Hilltoppers at the line. Snap to Jansen again. Takes it off the right side. Gets it down to about the 36-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 6. Second down 4.
Number 9, Zach Hedela in the lineup for Colfax.
Blazer and Jansen. Snap to Jansen again. Tries the left side. Got tripped up for a very short gain, maybe a yard.
Yeah, good job by number 22, Kate Anderson, to get in the backfield for the Vikings.
So we've got third down, 3 yards to go. Under 6 minutes to go in the game. And Glenwood City's taking their time. They're down to 5 seconds, and we have a timeout called. So a timeout on the field. Glenwood City Hilltoppers 36, Vikings nothing, and you're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Like you want. You first need to know about your soil. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 715-586-1302. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley.
Five minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Glenwood City called timeout. Waiting for them to come up to the line. Third down 3. Snap and coming off the right side, and that's Vinny Wheeler on the carry. He got down to about the 30-yard line, and it's going to be a first down.
Another tackle by number 50, Nick Jensen for Colfax. I was watching that interior line, and number 53, Dylan Hilo, when he comes through on that blitz, he clears a path.
All right, Glenwood City back up to the line. In the backfield now is Wheeler and Blazer. Direct snap to Wheeler, takes it to the left side. He got met at the line of scrimmage, ran into Dylan Hedela, who said, "You're not going any further." You could just see when he hit Hedela, he bounced back a yard or so, and but then the Vikings had a chance to close in. Second down 10.
Yeah, that interior four with Molina, Knutson, Hedela, and Nick Jensen. Not much room in there.
Hilltoppers up to the line. Blazer and Wheeler in the backfield. Snap to Wheeler again, goes straight up the middle, and there's not much there. That's going to bring up third down and about 7. Into the lineup is Esden Swenby, replacing Zach Hill. Hilltoppers lined up tight, single wing formation. Wheeler gets the snap and takes it off the left side, or the right side, I mean. Very little gain, 4th down. Cameron Molina seemed to be the biggest obstacle in his way that time. 4th down and somewhere right around 7 yards to go. 2.5 minutes left. Hilltoppers up to the line. And the snap this time is to Blazer, and he gets taken down at the 25-yard line, and the ball will go over on downs to the Vikings. In fact, they're going to put it on the 24-yard line. So 1st and 10 with just under 2 minutes to go. Running clock, so they're not going to get much more than 2-3 plays in here. And we have a timeout being called on the field by the Vikings. So with the timeout on the field, it's Glenwood City 36, Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Colfax High School football action is coming your way on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Coming up on Friday, October 14th, the Colfax Vikings will travel to Clear Lake to take on the Clear Lake Warriors. Coverage begins at 6:40 p.m. with Viking pregame. That's live Colfax Viking Football on Friday, October 14th on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
And we'll see how many plays the Vikings can get in here, see if maybe they can put something on the board. Because once they snap the ball after that timeout, it'll be running clock, although the Vikings should have a couple of timeouts remaining. So if they get a little something going, they do have the ability to stop the clock. Give straight up the middle, and there was nothing there. That was Beekner. And he even lost a yard on the play. Brings up 2nd and 11. Viking offense, Dan, just couldn't get anything going tonight.
Yeah, there was not much room in the middle, which they were trying to run tonight.
Vikings come up to the line of scrimmage. Pekka went in motion. They give up the middle again to Beekner, and he doesn't get anywhere. Back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe. They're going to say he didn't even get back to that. It's still 3rd down 12. One more play. Vikings come up to the line of scrimmage. Receivers split out both sides. Pitch to Pekka. He gets the corner turned on the left side, gets run out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. And that should do it. And that's your final score. Vikings get shut out tonight. Glenwood City Hilltoppers 36, Vikings nothing. Not the way they wanted homecoming to go. And we'll have more about this one when we get to Viking postgame. You're tuned to Viking Football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
This has been Colfax Viking Football, live on the Northern Light Webcasting Network. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network in conjunction with Colfax High School. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Postgame, where I'll look back at today's game.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with our wrap-up of today's Colfax Vikings game. And now, back out to the stadium.
We're back here at Colfax High School, where the Vikings have gone to defeat at the hands of the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Not the homecoming result that they were looking for, and actually, to be honest with you, not what I kind of anticipated was going to happen tonight. Although, Dan, we talked about it quite a bit, how the Viking offense just wasn't able to get anything going. And although the score didn't show it, the Viking defense actually played pretty well. There were a couple of unfortunate plays for the Vikings. There was a pick six and another interception that was deep into the Viking territory. And that's when the game kind of got out of hand. Couple times, several times they turned the ball over to Glenwood City deep in their own territory, which allowed Glenwood City some fairly easy scores and made that score as lopsided as it is.
Yeah, good job with that. Colfax interior four, they did all they could do tonight. And, that first quarter, it looked really good. Second quarter, I wasn't too worried. And Glenwood City just kind of chipped away all game and came up with moments that they needed just to put it away.
So, it's the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 36, Colfax Vikings nothing. Dan, why don't you tell us how we got to that?
Yeah, in the first quarter, nothing happened. Both defenses shut each other down. And so it was 0-0 after the first quarter. But in the second quarter, Max Jansen gets a 12-yard touchdown pass to make it 7-0. Then 3 minutes later, Max Jansen comes back with a 9-yard touchdown run they get the get the 2-point conversion to make it 15-0. In the third quarter, it was all Glenwood City with a 54-yard touchdown run by, I don't remember. I wrote number nothing, so I think it was Jansen though, and that was with 10:08 left in the third quarter. With 9:11 in the third quarter, number 3, Andrew Blazer gets a pick six and runs it back to make it 28-0 with 4:54 left. Number 11 for Glenwood City, Brady Klatt, gets a 8-yard touchdown run to make it 36-0. And then we went into running time, and both teams didn't score in the fourth quarter. So our final score, 36-0.
And although we don't have any statistics here other than you making record of the scoring plays, I'd be very curious to see the Viking total offense. I'm not sure they got over 100 yards of total offense tonight because they just did not move the ball. There were a couple of running plays that Asher Pekka made that looked like they might possibly break something and maybe give them some momentum. But none of those amounted to anything. The Vikings tried something at the beginning of the game to get some momentum, tried that onside kick to get things going, recovered the onside kick, had the ball in really good field position, and then went nowhere.
Yeah, Colfax tried to do that power offense all night, and we've seen that since the beginning of the season. And, the defense drops 9 in the box and just bunches it up, and there's just not much sledding in there for Colfax.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a bit of a timeout here, and I don't know if we're going to have coach coming up tonight or not. And either way, when we come back from this timeout, we'll take a look ahead at next week real quick and wrap things up here on Viking Postgame on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
And we're back here at Colfax High School, and I don't know if we're going to see the coach or not. A lot of people waiting for the team to come off the field as they're heading towards the end of the field where they exit through the fence. But it is homecoming, and so they're getting ready. I don't know if they have a dance tonight or a lock-in or anything like that tonight. I just simply don't know. But it is homecoming, and it's kind of disappointing for the Vikings, dropping this one 36-0. Also disappointing, Theo Hovde in concussion protocol went down in the third quarter, and it was in the second quarter that he went down because they were looking at him during halftime, and he's got a little mending to do. So we'll have to see what comes of that, and I wish him nothing but the best because that's one kid who does work his tail off for the football team.
Yeah, Theo
had a go.
Theo's always been a good player on the field. You know, he can do offense, defense, play quarterback, do the jet sweep, and see what he's like next week.
He plays with 6'7" attitude and a 5'6" body, and I think he's the smallest guy out there, and he just throws himself through it and works really hard. So wish him nothing but the best. Next week, the Vikings finish the season on the road, traveling over to Clear Lake in another game that they should match up well in, and it would be really nice to see them bookend the season. How about bookend the season with a couple of wins, Dan? What do you think about that idea?
Yeah, the defense is playing hard all year, and see if we can get the offense to move the ball a little bit.
That would be really nice. So, don't forget to join us on the NLWN-TV and the Northern Light Webcasting Network next Friday as we bring you Viking football as we wrap up the 2022 season when we travel over to Clear Lake to take on the Clear Lake Warriors. Viking pregame begins at 6:40, followed by all the play-by-play. Tomorrow, the Viking volleyballers are going to travel to Altoona to take part in the 14-team Altoona Invitational. Action gets underway at 8:30, and then on Tuesday they will host the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, and on Thursday they will travel to Mondovi to take on the Mondovi Buffaloes. Varsity action on both of those nights begins at 7 p.m. The Colfax Viking cross-country team will host the cross-country conference meet in Colfax on Thursday, with action getting underway at 5 p.m. Please don't forget, tune in for our Halloween Spooktacular on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. It's our second annual Halloween special programming, and it's going to feature some of the best classic Halloween-themed old-time radio shows, and it all starts at 7 p.m. on Halloween night, right here on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Tonight's Colfax High School football game has been brought to you by the Colfax Animal Hospital. Let Dr. Buckley and his friendly staff take care of your pet. Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for the Chippewa Valley. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Comfort food the way Mom used to make it. And Fit Fam Nutrition of Colfax, with drinks that taste as good as they sound, plus they're healthy. Hey, be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking football on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. So for Dan Petchow and Chris Olson on the camera, this is Rick Olson. That final score once again, Glenwood City Hilltoppers 36, Vikings 0. You're tuned to Viking football, or Viking postgame, on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Vikings game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.